right, well, it seems that after the upset of all centuries, politically wise, it's like the media has not learned that it's still doubling down on bashing Donald Trump, because the man they thought was too incompetent to be elected president apparently is too incompetent handling the fact that he's now president-elect. You cannot win to accuracy and media editor Roger Aronoff on if they risk further alienating their public. And you know, I won't embarrass her, but even my small-town paper, it caters to a largely conservative community, and yet it's as left-wing and communist as you could get. And I see this played out in one small town, medium town after another. So we pay attention to the big guys like the Times and the Post, et cetera. But this is permeated in journalism across the country. Why?
Well, that's true, Neil. Good to be back with you.
Same
yes,
here.
The Dallas Morning News, the Arizona Republic, they put it on the line for either the first time or one of the very rare times they endorsed the Democratic candidate for president. And they, along with the major media like the New York Times and the Washington Post, are in disarray. They cannot believe that their collective weight couldn't have elected Hillary. And
that extends to your fine point, Roger, to the medium and the small paper guys. I mean, I think my town paper has a circulation of like 10 people. But my point is, and I kid, but to make a very serious point here, that they just seem so out of touch. It's one thing to be out of touch, period, or to be out of touch with your community of readers, or who they are or what you're about. But they're out of touch in sucking up and learning, I goofed, I screwed up. And they're doubling down on it by now just lying. By talking about, you know, Donald Trump and how long this transition period is taking, when they know full well it is not taking long at all, that he's actually running ahead of the curve on this. I guess I just don't see why, if you're digging a hole, you prefer to keep digging.
Yes, I have an article up on it on our website at aim.org that the honeymoon is over. There really was no honeymoon to begin with.
That's right.
From the day that the campaign ended and it became clear what was happening, they were firing out. I mean, they're as in disarray as the Democrat Party is today, because they put all of their weight behind it, not just all the news media, but the late-night shows, and to convince us that Donald Trump was beyond the pale, that he and his followers are racist, and that just unacceptable. And here's Hillary Clinton with this phenomenal record that they wanted to sell her as having.
So they missed it. To your brilliant point, they missed it, Roger. Now, rather than acknowledge that, and to give the Times its credit, it did talk about how it goofed and all that, but then proceeded to go right on to, now about this Bunyan head who won for the White House, and back to the old stuff without thinking it. Step back, you know, maybe we missed these 65 million American voters who were not happy. Maybe we missed this palpable rage in what we thought were safe democratic states. Maybe we should wake up and take a better look at this country that we report on.
No, I think the lesson they're learning is that the country was even more racist than they thought it was, and that what really I think was also happening was that more and more people were getting their news from other places and picking up enough from Project Veritas and from WikiLeaks, and really seeing how corrupt the Democratic Party and Hillary had been. And that influenced a lot of people, as well as they weren't buying this story about what a great economy we were having, how great Obamacare has been, how great their foreign policy has been.
They put everything hook, line, and sinker. And that's fine. You have editorial position. You like the press, by all means, say it. But when it bleeds into your coverage or everything else, and you are not, you know, going to provide the same kind of litmus test for the other side, or if you're going to bash the challenge, in this case Donald Trump, and call him a maroon or whatever, and you don't take nearly the same zeal going after the other candidate, then you should go out of business, you know?
Right. You see it in the coverage today. Every one of the picks of Trump is considered controversial.
Oh,
that's the word that they put on every one of them. But then when the Democrats' leading candidate for chair of the DNC is Keith Ellison, they don't talk about controversy there or look into his background. So it continues.
Yeah.
They're not going to change. They're going to continue to
That's
take the
quite
same line
apparent,
they've
my
taken.
friend.
Yes.
Quite apparent. Thank you, Roger, as always.